Hello, and welcome to National RTAP's website accessibility training on color contrast. We will start off today by taking a look at a couple of different color contrast tools that you can use, followed with a demonstration on how to update some of the colors throughout your website. After you've signed into your website via our website builder platform, you will now have an idea of the colors that you are currently using. The first tool we will take a look at is the WebAIM Contrast Checker. This is a web-based tool that allows you to copy and paste hex codes of your website colors. I will show you where to find these hex codes later in the video. This tool will provide results of how your colors fare compared to the WCAG standards. More information can be found on the WCAG website or on National RTAP's Website Builder Accessibility Support page. One of the next options we have is to use an eyedropper tool to find the hex codes of your website. There is a free option called ColorZilla. This is available for Chrome and Firefox browsers and is downloaded as an extension that you would typically find in the upper right corner of your browser. Sometimes you may need to choose to add it via the extensions. Our next option is the Color Contrast Analyzer software that can be downloaded directly to Windows and Mac computers. This is a free software that you can use that is downloaded directly to your desktop. You would not have to use a web browser to check these colors. However, I would like to make you aware that you still would have to use a web browser in order to make updates and changes to your website. These links can all be found on our Website Builder Accessibility Support page. Now that we've taken a look at some of these tools, we will want to make sure we are logged into our website so that we can begin looking at the different contrast colors. Let's start with the very top of our page with the header. Now we can see we have our logo, and then of course we have our menu. However, this menu does look hard to read with this black text. So what we can do is we want to grab the header background color. So we'll click on Header, Edit Design, and then here's your background color right here. Click on this and scroll down and you'll be provided with a hex code. We're going to copy that hex code and go to our WebAIM Contrast Checker. Now, the blue is the background, so we want to make sure we enter it as the background color, and you can see it will pick that up. And then we want to click out of this and click on the menu. Go to your design, all pages, and link text. And then here we can find that font color. We'll copy and paste this here. Now as we look down, we can see that it is failing the accessibility checks. So we'll want to find a lighter color for our header. I may recommend we go with a color white. So if you know the hex code, you can easily enter it right here, or we can just click and drag and take that all the way upper to the upper left-hand corner where it is white. Now we can copy and paste this value into our contrast checker, and we can see it is passing for all accessibility checks. Close out of this, and now you can see that much better. Now that we've tried WebAIM, let's move on to trying ColorZilla. ColorZilla is a free extension that you can download for Chrome or Firefox browsers. Once downloaded, you'll either have to click on a puzzle piece to look at your extensions, but I have it pinned to my browser so that I can easily access it. We'll click on it, and we want to pick a color from page, and then we'll go back to our website and check it. So from here, we can click on this blue background, and it automatically copies the color to our eyedropper. Now what we can do is we can take that hex code that was copied and go back and enter it for the background value. We'll go back to the website, and now we can either use the dropper to grab this header color. You'll notice as you're kind of moving around, it will zoom in. Click on it and it copies it, and then we can paste it as our foreground. You can see with the current color, it's passing on some fronts, but there is one last accessibility that is failing on. So we will want to take this lighter. We can slide this scale right here, and we can see that the lighter that we go, it will give us a better contrast rate. So it's not fully passing, so what we might want to do is make our background a little bit darker. As you see, we're sliding this. It is now passed on all fronts. And we can take this background value, go back to our website, click on the row, edit the design, then we click on the background color and enter that new hex code. And it was recommending that we did change our header color as well. So we'll click on it, click on the color options. Let's move this up a little bit. And now again, we can just take our slider and go all the way up to the upper left-hand corner to put in that white value. Let's use this text as another example. So let's click on this, and then we'll scroll to the bottom and grab the hex code for it. Now we don't need to change our background value because that is what it's currently set to, but we will change our hex value. We can already see it's failing because it's too dark against the dark background. So as we slide this to the right, we'll see the lighter we go, the more likely it is to pass. So we're not fully white. It's kind of a light gray. But if we want to go white, we can go all the way to the right. We'll take this light gray and we'll change the color here. Now we can see that much easier. The last tool that we want to demo is the color contrast analyzer that can be downloaded directly to your computer or Mac device. Once you have it downloaded, this will be a desktop software. So I'm going to make my browser a little bit smaller so I can easily get between the browser and the checker. And we'll close out a web aim because we're no longer going to make use of that. Now, let's take a look at this button here. So we're going to click on the button, go to Edit Design, and then we want to grab the background color first. So we'll grab that hex code, and then we'll go to our color contrast analyzer. Let's enter the background color. And then we'll click on the button text and grab this color. You'll notice that in the color selector, you do have the color contrast ratio here as well. So it will try to guide you so that you make the right decision as you're changing these contrast colors. When you go to one that is good, it will change to a green check. Now let's take that foreground color, place it in here, and we can see that it's showing us how it should be appearing on the website. It's failing on all fronts. So we know that with a darker background, we typically want to go lighter with the font. The easiest solution would be to change this to white. Now if we take that foreground color and replace it, we can see that on most fronts, it is passing. However, for regular text, it is saying that it will fail. So what we might want to do is choose a darker background color. So we'll go to the button Style, Background Color, and let's just go a little bit darker with it. Still not quite passing. So let's go a little bit darker again. And now let's see. Still not quite there. Let's try a color red. And you'll see I'm just going through trying to find a good color contrast ratio that will work well for these different colors. The darker I go, the more likely it is to pass with the lighter font. As you're going through your website and checking the accessibility standards, you want to ensure you're checking all items. Now these could be items like hyperlinks, buttons, tables, and any other area where color is used in conjunction with navigation. Now that we have checked the accessibility of your website, we wanted to provide the resources we used today and how to find them. The first resource we used was the WebAIM Color Contrast Checker. This was a web-based tool that can be used by going to a website and allows you to paste the hex codes from your website and then find the accessibility standards. The next tool we used was ColorZilla. This is a free-to-use eyedropper tool that can be downloaded for Google Chrome and Firefox browsers, and it allows you to select an area, click on it, and find out the hex code that's being used. The last tool that we demoed was the Color Contrast Analyzer by the Paciello Group. This is a desktop software that can be downloaded for Windows or Mac and is free to use. It's very similar to the WebAIM Color Contrast Checker in that it allows you to enter hex codes and provides you with the accessibility standards to tell you if you meet them. Now, all of these resources can be found on our website via the website accessibility training page for Website Builder. Thank you very much for tuning in today, and as always, feel free to reach out to us with any questions you may have.